local all morning. The Fox 61 Morning News starts now.
Right now at 6 o'clock, we have breaking news just outside of New Haven. A police officer shot overnight. Julia LeBlanc is on the scene with the latest.
And a 70-year-old woman attacked while out on her morning jog. What police are saying about the man accused.
Also, a jury is deliberating in the defamation trial of conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. We're going to explain what is next once jurors make their decision.
Good morning. Happy Friday to you. Thanks so much for spending part of it with us here at Fox 61 America Areas.
And I'm Tim Lambert. Good morning to you. We're going to start here with the weather. So as we always say, plan your day, plan your weekend. And at least today is going to be another gorgeous one.
You know what? Here's the thing. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. Okay. So all 3 days are going to be beautiful, but they're going to feel very different. That's the key. That's the headline for this weekend. Here's what you need to know. It's another warm one today. Temperatures getting again into the 70s, but big temperature changes on tap this weekend as we struggle to get out of the 50s. Oh, boy. Rain-free forecast for now. We'll talk about that and then the opportunity for a little shower activity tomorrow morning, and that's going to be it. After that, we have a nice little stretch into 70. 54 in Hartford, New Haven, 56 in Groton. Here's the satellite radar composite. A little brief wind out of the west-southwest. That won't last. That's ahead of this next frontal boundary, going to swing on through. Overnight tonight, may get a drip or two, and I mean you can count the raindrops. Tomorrow morning, starting to see some things put together on the guidance that may suggest a brief shower, but that will not affect the weekend. 53 degrees, cloudy skies, 76 later on as the high schoolers get off the bus, looking good for the afternoon. All right, Hartford Marathon this weekend. We'll get you up to date with that forecast. Have a look at everything else you need to know for that all-important weekend. That's the way Tim Lambert makes me say it, Lauren Zenzi. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. We will also talk road closures throughout the morning for the Hartford Marathon because there aren't only just road closures here in and around the capital city. There are also going to be road closures on the highway on-ramps and off-ramps on I-84, I-91. We also have some on Route 72, Route 2 as well. We are going to bring you out to the Hartford area right now. We did see a lot of construction cleanup. We're seeing a little bit of delay on the southbound side of I-91. Also bringing you a little further south over on the northbound side of I-91, there is a crash between exit 24 and exit 25 as we can take a, oh, they zoomed in really close, but this is the scene right here. Unfortunately, not a whole lot to be able to see at this point because it's extremely blurry. So I'm not really sure what exactly we are picking out right there, but it kind of looks like a fire crew is on scene. So we'll work to get more information on this. We'll definitely keep an eye on that right there. Over in Waterbury, things are moving freely. And like I said, coming up in the next half hour, we are going to kind of start laying out the lay of the land and road closures for the Eversource Hartford Marathon, guys.
Okay. Lauren, thank you. It's 6:03, our big story here, the big breaking news right now in New Haven, where investigators are on the scene of an officer who was shot in the line of duty.
Yeah, this all happening on Chapel Street again in New Haven. And that's where we find Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc. Julia, good morning. What can you tell us?
Hi, good morning to you both. Right now, we're on the corner of River Street and Blatchley Ave. We just caught up with the chief of police here in New Haven just moments ago. He tells us that one of his officers was shot while he was simply responding to a car crash overnight. Now, the good update we are getting from the chief is that that officer was sent to the hospital and was released and is doing okay. Now, let's take a look at the scene here. You can tell it is a pretty large response at this point involving several agencies. This all happened right around 1:30 this morning. The chief says the officer was responding to a crash involving one car. They tell us that car crashed into a pole, so he was trying to help out there. That's when the person who was in the car shot him once in the ear and once in the shoulder. There was a shot spotter activation, and the chief tells us that that officer then called for help, but the suspect ran away and is now on the loose. They left the car there and ran on foot. Here's what the chief had to say moments ago.
Nobody should be shot, but when somebody shoots at an officer, they're extremely reckless, and we need to do everything possible to get this person in custody.
Now, there are several investigations, actually 2 to be exact, happening here. If we take a live look here, we can see state police are here in New Haven, police officers here. We also know that the inspector general is here, as well as the state's attorney's office, because, as I mentioned, 2 investigations happening here. One criminal investigation because of the person who shot at an officer, and then another statewide investigation because anytime there's an officer involved shooting, that is investigated on a higher level. We do know that this officer did return fire. Now, the only thing that police officers were able to tell us about this suspect is that it was a man wearing an orange hoodie. However, they tell us that they're doing everything they can to find that person right now, so they don't believe that the public should be worried about their safety at this point because they're on the case. Of course, we will continue to follow this for you. We'll let you know once this road opens back up, but in the meantime, it's a large crime scene spanning several blocks, so avoid this area if you can. For now, we're live in New Haven. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61 News.
All right, Julia, thank you. Also new this morning, Hampden police charged a 16-year-old girl in connection with a shooting on Butler Street back in September.
Yeah, you may remember we covered this extensively at the time as one of the stray bullets from the shooting entered a house on Butler Street and hit a 37-year-old woman in her shoulder. Now, because police said that there were multiple people shooting at each other, we don't know if the 16-year-old is accused specifically of shooting the woman, but the girl is facing charges of attempted assault and unlawful discharge of a firearm, among others. An 82-year-old Waterbury woman is missing and police need your help finding her. Her name is Correa Blanca. She's 82 years old. She's a white female with gray hair. And we're told that she was last seen wearing a purple tank top, gray sweats, and one black shoe. If you know her, if you happen to see her, please contact Waterbury Police.
Well, this morning, a 70-year-old woman is in the hospital recovering after police said she was sucker punched while exercising. Police said they have arrested her attacker, though. They said yesterday around 9:30 a.m., 40-year-old Alexander Russell snuck up behind the woman and punched her in the back of the head while she was walk jogging on Old County Road. The woman broke some fingers when she fell, and she's got a deep cut on the back of her head. Police said Russell ran away after the attack, but was actually found and arrested nearby on state police property on Shep Hester Road near the airport. One neighbor said he was saddened by the news.
This one, of course, strikes me. I had neighbors come down right away after this happened, knowing that I'm an elderly lady who walks every day. I have a collection of sticks. I was grateful for their concern, and I will, probably be a little bit more careful.
The big question here, why? Why did this happen? Police said they don't know yet. They said Russell didn't rob the woman and the two didn't appear to know each other. They also said Russell acted alone. He is facing 2 charges, including assault, and he's due in court today, so we'll keep you updated.
6:08 right now, and the jury may return with a verdict in the defamation trial of Alex Jones today as they continue deliberating. Now, the jury is not deciding whether Alex Jones is guilty or not. That's already happened. This is a civil trial, and he's already been found liable for defamation by the judge. Now, the jury's job now is to decide how much he owes the plaintiffs in damages for the lies that he spread about the Sandy Hook school shooting. The plaintiff's attorney suggested when making their decision, the jury consider the 550 million people that Jones' lies reached, a number their expert witness estimated in his testimony.
You may say that's astronomical. It is. It is. It's exactly what Alex Jones set himself up to do. That's what he built. He built a lie machine that could push this stuff out.
Now, Jones' defense attorney Norm Pattis argued to the jury that emotion can't be part of a fair, equal, and just decision under the law. He also planted the possibility that the Sandy Hook families were disingenuous.
Did they exaggerate some of the harm here for the sake of politics, for the sake of guns?
As we await a verdict, make sure you're staying with us here at Fox 61 for any breaking updates. Lindsay Kane is going to be joining us in the next hour for more details on what is expected this morning.
Well, in a Fox 61 follow-up to a story we told you about yesterday, a man who accepted a plea deal in the 2018 stabbing death of his girlfriend was sentenced to 40 years in prison. The victim's family said they hope this tragedy serves as a warning for others who are experiencing domestic violence. Now, the victim here was 25-year-old Karina Rodriguez. She was a mother of 3 young boys when she was killed. Her family said they are still upset that Avery Holbrooks was allowed to reject 2 plea deals before accepting a third. Karina's parents said Holbrooks stabbed her nearly 50 times in their Niantic motel room on the night that Rodriguez had planned on leaving him.
When you're planning on leaving, get help first. Don't just leave. We weren't home yet, and she tried to do it on her own. And he made sure that didn't happen.
If you're a woman, daughter, mother, be frightened because domestic violence is serious.
Now, Karina Rodriguez's parents are raising the 3 young boys. And on top of all that, they said Karina was 16 weeks pregnant on the night she was murdered.
At least 2 victims are dead and several others are injured after a stabbing spree on the Las Vegas Strip on Thursday. Police say an attacker used a large kitchen knife in the attack that happened along the Las Vegas Strip near the Wynn Hotel before being arrested. 3 people were hospitalized in critical condition and another 3 remain in stable condition. According to the Las Vegas police, they said they started getting 911 calls about the stabbings at around 11:40 in the morning, right across the street from the Wynn. Residents commented about their concerns about the random nature of this attack.
It's frightening, and I feel very bad for the people involved and their families. I mean, this is a nice part of the Strip, and you wouldn't ever think about being afraid to walk along here.
Las Vegas police say that at least 8 victims. Witnesses say some of the victims were showgirls posing for photos with tourists along the Strip. No news yet on the motive, but this is a developing story, so we will keep you updated throughout the morning.